Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Garden of Sports. I'm your host, Jake Gardner, alongside my brother, Zach.
What is up, everybody?
And today we're going to go over Basketball Week 5 recap and Week 6 prep for your fantasy basketball league. So we'll go over top performers, key injury news, players to scoop up, players to trade, watch list, all of that. So let's jump in.
Hell yeah.
Top performers. I'll go a point guard. Steph Curry, 57.3 average. He's going crazy. I regret not drafting this man. Instead, I chose Bradley Beal. So that was dumb. Yeah, Luka Doncic, 54.1 average. He's also taken on that injury. We'll go over that more. Damian Lillard, 48.4 average. LaMelo Ball, 47 average. DeJounte Murray, 46.5 average.
Alrighty. Moving on over to shooting guard. James Harden, 49.3 average, number one shooting guard this week. Zach LaVine, 40.8 average. Bradley Beal, 39 average. Tyrese Maxey-Paxey, 38 average. And Devin Booker, 37.3 average.
Hell yeah. Small forward, Jason Tatum, 54.4 average. He's finally coming to that form I was telling you about, Zach, before the season.
Mm-hmm.
He's just he's got a killer mentality now. I know Jalen Brown is out, and that might have to a little to do with it, but other players are still contributing next to him. Like
you always want to draft those, number ones on a team, and he just had a little bit of a slow start, but I mean, everybody knows he's trending in that superstar category,
Yes, sir. Jimmy Butler, 52.7 average. DeMar DeRozan, 46.5 average. Paul George, 44.6 average. Miles Bridges, 37.5 average.
Alrighty. Power forward. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 62.3 average. Bit of a surprise there, right, Jake?
Yeah, totally.
Kristaps Porzingis, 50.1 average. Anthony Davis, 45.7 average. Jonathan Collins, the fourth, 38.2 average. Bobby Portis, 35.3 average.
Is he actually the fourth?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, Porzingis and John Collins, the buy low window is gone now. I mean, they're obviously coming to form. So, missed out on that. Hopefully you tried to trade for him and got him, but...
I did. No one trades with me.
Window's closed. Okay. Well, first off, Zabricki has Porzingis, and he's not a big trader.
Yeah.
Well, not Porzingis. Like, Zabricki will trade with you, but he's has grabbed Porzingis the past couple years. I think he really likes him. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Zabricki plays hardball and basketball, but get him in the hockey league and he'll just throw you guys for nothing. So.
Okay, that's not true. Center.
Stay tuned for the hockey episode. We're going to dive into that further, everybody.
Yeah, right. So, that'll be a different... Stay tuned. What are you talking about? Center. Nikola Jokic, 56.7 average. Clint Capella, 42.2 average. Rudy Gobert, 42 average. Cat, 41.9 average. DeAndre Ayton, 37.3 average. So, pretty standard. It's nice to see Ayton come back from injury and go off. So, looks like the rest for that injury was needed so he could come back to form. All right. Injury news. Jokic, wrist, questionable for Sunday, so hopefully it's minor, but we'll just keep watching that. Luka Doncic, ankle and knee, so he's real banged up, and he has missed 2 games already, and he's questionable for Sunday. I imagine he'll miss a bit more time here, because they need him all year. OG Anunoby, hip, questionable for Sunday, also has missed 2 games.
And you know what? I'm glad that nobody accepts my trade offers, because he's another guy I tried to trade for last week, so...
Who?
That worked out.
Which one?
OG Anunoby.
Oh, well, he's questionable, so it's not like it's a major injury, but...
Yeah, but,
it's something to watch. Cole Anthony, ankle, will not play Sunday, so it's his first game missed. But, yeah, previous to that, he's still been going off. Kevin Durant, shoulder, won't play Sunday, so hopefully it's minor, but that's another key one to watch. Kevin Porter, for Houston, thigh, missed Saturday, and he's day-to-day. Dylan Brooks, hamstring, missed Saturday as well for the Grizzlies, so hopefully that's not major because he just came back from injury. And then the biggest injury of the week, Evan Mobley, elbow. This was earlier in the week. We'll miss 2 to 4 weeks. So we'll go over players you could pick up to replace him during the episode here. But yeah, other than that, it was just like a bunch of very minor injuries and like probables. So I didn't throw those in here.
Got a case of that Mobley elbow.
Yeah, which sucks because like he was the leader for Rookie of the Year, and now if he misses a month or more, I think Scotty Barnes will be the leader for
So
sure.
they were even ahead of Josh Giddey, huh? Because he's been pretty good too.
Yeah, but the top 2 so far were Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley.
Okay.
And Giddey might have been third. But
Yeah.
now that also Cade Cunningham's coming to form. So we'll see if Cade can catch up on Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley.
Okay.
But yeah, let's get into trade targets. So I put a huge list here for buy lows because just going through the list of guys, there's a lot of players that have not reached their full potential based on past years and upside. So let's just jump into it. This one's an exciting little list here. Mo Bamba, 36.4 average in the last 15. So this would be a hard player to get. I mean, I already tried to trade for him from Zach to no avail. But he slowed. He had a bad week this past week. Like, he slowed down.
But you know what? Now there's new developments in our trade that we tried to make, which makes me more eager to maybe do the trade because after I canceled the offer, they added center eligibility to who's the guy? Pascal Ciaco? Yeah, they added center eligibility to him after I canceled the trade. So now that he's dual eligible, I might be more willing to make that same trade. So if you want to do that same exact one, it was a good trade. It was too even.
Yeah, for the viewers, I offered Siakam and Giddey for Mo Bamba and Jaren Jackson because, like Zach said, Siakam didn't have center eligibility yet, but also I needed more big men anyway because I had a lot of guards, and I was trying to get 2 big men for 1 big man and a guard.
And Josh Giddey, I'm okay with taking a chance with Josh Giddey because there's a ton of volume and opportunity there for him. You know, he's gonna get full run. Good. So
it was it was definitely an even trade. Zach would be getting the most proven player in Siakam, but then I would be getting like the 2 better players than Josh Giddey.
Yeah, you'd be getting 2 guys with a ton of upside. But
upside guys that are unproven,
yeah,
fully, like a full season. That's what I mean. Because obviously Mo Bamba has been great, and Jaren Jackson Jr. has shown flashes. But so Mo Bamba, I think he's slowing. He's had 1 bad week. I don't think that's gonna stick. I obviously think he has the talent to do pretty well.
Yeah, well, when you have Wendell Carter laying an egg, I don't think there's really anybody.
Yeah, and him
nipping at his heels.
Don't even shit on Wendell because they're playing together.
They are
both
playing
good. Like, Bamba's better at this point. Wendell Carter here's the thing. A lot of teams, we'll just get into it, dude. A lot of teams will draft these players, coming out of college or like in the middle of college, and they're like, okay, they're going to keep growing. Like, for example, John Collins came into the league and then he grew like another freaking 4 or 5 inches.
Durant, same thing, right?
Yeah, he grew as well. So I think the Bulls,
Anthony Davis,
the Bulls drafted Wendell Carter at like 6'10" or whatever he is, and they're like, okay, this guy's going to get to 7 foot,
And what is he growing, a half inch?
I don't think at all. I don't think he's grown at all. So this guy obviously isn't taking the growth hormones the rest of the players are, but
okay.
But no, Wendell Carter's doing good next to Mo Bamba. It's a shit team, but you're just going for the guys in fantasy.
Well, and they were always saying too, like after the first year, that they were saying that there's analysts and people saying that Wendell was better suited to be like a stretch 4 type of guy when but the Bulls kept trying to force him in at center, but that maybe wasn't the best position for him.
Yeah, he's perfect at the 4, dude.
They're playing him at power forward, and they have 7 foot Mo Bamba at center. I mean, that
honestly, if you we talked more about Wendell in the drafts, but is like a late sleeper. But if you got both of them, I mean, you're probably doing pretty well in the standings because you got those guys in your last couple rounds, and they're
Yeah.
both averaging over 30. That's crazy.
So good for them, and actually, recognizing what they had and putting the player in a position to succeed. That's what,
Heck
you're
yeah.
supposed to do with guys.
Well, that was the old Bulls staff, and I don't know. Orlando's it's not translating into wins, and also the new coach that we love didn't like him. I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah. And I think Kobe White's on his way out the door as well.
Well, the Bulls are trying to trade or trying to play him some minutes to show that he's got it, and he
Yeah.
looks like shit.
Yeah,
They're like trying to show him off as a trade piece, and he looks like shit. And they're like, God damn it,
if he
can't
could
even trade this guy.
if he could put a good week together, and they would get that trade in for that guy on Sacramento, Bagley.
Yeah, dude, we need Bagley, or I'm hearing rumblings about Christian Wood on the Rockets.
Okay.
And that would be even better. He's pretty good in fantasy.
Yeah.
He averages like 35 to 40 fantasy points, and
wow. Okay.
Christian Wood is good, dude. He could play.
All right, that would be awesome.
I'd take either. I mean, Christian Wood would cost a little more, but
yeah,
I think he got most improved player last year. If not, it was the year before. I'd have to look.
That's definitely
Maybe
a name.
he didn't. Maybe he didn't. God, he was close though. He's in the running because he kind of came out of nowhere. Anyway, getting off topic here, guys. Also, oh God, I put this guy in the wrong area. So
it's okay. You got your Bulls bulge showing.
Why do I have sell highs in here? Hold on. Can you copy these three guys down to sell high? The next three?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I was doing. Anyway, Pascal Ciaco. So we just talked about him in a trade deal Zach and I were discussing. But Siakam's got a 33.9 average. And again, he's coming off that injury. And we know what he's capable of. He's been near 40 for the past couple seasons in fantasy, near 40 average. We're talking points leagues here with custom points for where assists are 1.5, rebounds are 1.3, steals are 1.5. No, steals are 3 points. So, guys like this who can play defense get around 40.
Yeah, he's a very good fantasy player. And, he's working his way back from an injury. I'm sure in like a week or in like 2 weeks, he'll be up to that 40 average.
He could be. There is a little concern. I could see some people having concern with the rookie Scotty Barnes maybe taking away some of his stats because they're both like.
Well, I think it's going to help because Scotty Barnes is a good facilitator type guy. Is he, or is he just a pure scorer?
No, he's like the same size as Siakam.
Okay.
He's a big. So he's probably he's playing small while or they're playing small ball. They're saying screw the center. So they're probably playing Siakam, Scotty Barnes as the big men. And then they were doing OG Anunoby as the small forward, and then Fred VanVleet was your point guard. I have no idea who their shooting guard is. Since Kyle Lowry left, and those were the two guards.
Right.
But those are their main four.
Okay.
I don't know what they're running now, but people could be concerned, but I think he could still easily reach the 40. They seem to be playing. It's kind of weird. I was a little worried that he wouldn't do well necessarily right away because Scotty Barnes was already doing well, but they're playing well together. So it's just like a team, very team-oriented organization, like team ball. Kind of like the Bulls. It's just that we're better. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're well coached too. They have that good young coach. I really like that coach they have.
Yeah. Jared Allen has slowed down since the start of the season. So the start of the season, he was averaging like 42 fantasy points, and now he's down to 34.
You
and he was slowing down, and now he's sick.
He was playing probably through that illness a little bit. And I think
that played him.
He'll come back and he'll be fine.
He could be, but he's a buy low regardless of the sickness because he's down to like 33, 34, and he was up at 40. And he can still reach that 40. So he never has finished 40 fantasy points a game, but this could be the year.
Okay.
Julius Randle, 33.4 average in his last 15. So he's in a slump. I mean, he hasn't scored 20 points in a game in like 2 weeks based on, like, if you look at his numbers. So, and then this report just came out last night that the Knicks are really, some players are super frustrated with how the offense is going. So I'm sure he's included in that. Their offense is just horrible right now. So I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of team meetings here and try to come together. But yeah, he's in a slump. And last year, Randall was above 45 average. And the number, if Giannis Antetokounmpo didn't exist, he would be the number one power forward. So, yeah, he's a buy low because he can reach 45. And right now he's, I think on the season, his average is 40 or barely 40. So, yeah, so he's in a slump. Try to get him, but it'd be hard to get. Chris Middleton, 30.9 average since return from injury and 33 on the season. But this is a guy who's been above 40. I mean, I'm pretty sure he finished above 40 last year. It was like 41.
He'll get there. I mean, he just returned from his injury, right?
Yeah, but even before that, he was only at 33. So it's a huge buy low.
Like it's a buy low, but I mean, the history shows you that he's gonna get up to that average.
He could, but you could just try to see if you can get him, dude. You know,
yeah, that would be
one of those sell highs.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd be trying to trade for him.
I don't know who has them in our main league, but I'm gonna go look. Jaren Jackson Jr. I still think he's a buy low. I could see how people are concerned with his inefficiency, I guess. Like some games he's going off around 40, and then some he's like 20. So I think he could bring it together though to where he's consistent.
They got to play in consistent minutes. Does he not play defense or something? I don't understand why he doesn't get minutes.
Oh, he plays. Did you not see? He just had like a 4-block game 2 games ago.
So why does he get 40 minutes one night and like 28 the next?
Let's look into the foul trouble. I know a couple seasons ago he was having a lot of foul trouble. So I'm guessing
that could be it. Then I never think of the foul trouble. Okay,
but I do see the minutes you're talking about. So I don't know if the coach is like.
That's the concerning thing to me. The reason that I would be willing to trade him, and that's how it's been the last 3 years with him too.
That was before the rule change, though. So like now players can play defense. He's having 4-block games,
right?
So I think the foul trouble was super real before this, but now he's not going to get every foul called on him. So he might have a game here or there where he has some foul trouble, but. Not every game. I think he's going to get it together, man. I mean, 28.7 average, that's a buy low. He could, even if he doesn't get to 40 like I think he could reach 35. You don't think he could improve from 28.7, you know?
I think he could improve to that, but, from how I was thinking about him for this year, going into this season fully healthy, and I just definitely have been disappointed from what I was expecting. Or hoping I could get with him,
Yeah.
And that's the thing that happens with kicking out. Well, yeah, we did talk him up. I excited myself, maybe a little too much, but yeah, it's just I was just expecting a little more, and that's the thing about picking the guy to have the breakout season.
I think he still could. The Grizzlies are struggling. Last night they got blown out by the Timberwolves. So
yeah,
I think the Grizzlies are in a little slump, but they'll get it together. Obviously, like it's John Morant with that team. You can't really. They should be better. I'd still try to get them, guys. Yusuf Nurkich, 30.8 average in the last 15. So he's had a lot of injuries in the past couple of years. But before that, he was like a breakout guy who was averaging above 40 in fantasy. So, and I don't want to, he's still in his prime. Like, you can't rule out that he could return to that.
Yeah, but hasn't he had 2 broken legs in like the last 3 years?
No, just 1 broken leg.
Oh, I thought he did it like twice.
I
thought he did it.
No, there's only one
his clean. First year in Portland?
2 years ago or 2.5 years ago was the clean break. Where it was like a just clean bone break, and then he was out most of the season that happened. And then he just had another injury last year that was different.
Okay. It was another leg injury, though. I thought it was another broken leg, but...
Or he just sucked last year. I remember last year was just like, even when he was playing, it was rough. But before...
But I did watch that Bulls game, and he did look pretty good in that game, but you got to take that, I think, with a grain of salt, because he was a 7-footer out there, and the Bulls' biggest player they have right now is, 6'5"? So...
No, we have the backup center's been doing good, Tony Bradley.
Yeah, but I mean, Nurkic looked good playing against our starters. That is a small ball lineup. So
yeah, that's true. But he has that potential to just go off. And also, Portland was struggling to start the season, not just Nurkic. So it's not all on Nurkic.
Yeah,
like, the whole team was bad, and now and also Damian was playing hurt with that abdomen.
Right.
But now he seems to be doing better. The whole team seems to be coming together. So
it's all coming together.
We know the talent's there for them to all go off.
Yeah, so you
They
still think
just
he's a
beat
buy
the Red Hot
low, though?
Bulls. Yeah, because even if he doesn't return to 40, he's just like Jackson, I think, above him, where he could go to 35 easily.
Okay.
Just a couple good weeks, it's already back up. I mean, we're only 5 weeks in.
Right.
I'd try to get him, and yeah, he might be easier to get than some of these other guys we've talked about.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, this is the biggest buy low, actually, because people could be worried because the team's so bad right now. 29.9 since return from his injury. This is another guy who averaged 40 last year. So
right,
you got to go for him. And this is the younger guy, also without the injury history like Nurkic and Jackson. And he might be easier to get than Middleton or Randall. I'd say the biggest grabs that you could get are like Jared Allen and Brandon Ingram right now.
I'm waiting for the Ingram, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, lobs.
Yeah, also, they're going to have way more open shots when Zion's back. So Ingram will be better off.
Yeah.
He was playing better when Zion was in last year. Christian Wood, we just talked about him, 28.5 average in the last 15. He's in a big slump, man. His average on the season is still 35, so that's how good he was before the slump here.
Yeah.
And this is another team where the whole team's doing bad, so that brings everyone's stats down. And he's got that potential for 40 as well. I'd say it's more near the 35 he's at now, but that's 35 after slumping 2 weeks. So, yeah, he could easily be 40 with how versatile he is. Spencer Dinwiddie, 27.8 average in the last 15. He's been up and down in his games, but it's turned out to be a really good Washington Wizards team. And previous to his ACL tear, I mean, he was averaging like plus 35 for the Nets as a backup. He was like their sixth man, remember that? Mm-hmm. And now he's a starter next to Beal. So I think it's just the whole team's learning how to play with each other, and they're still getting wins, so watch out. But I think
I would definitely try and trade for him.
Yeah, if you need a guard, this is the guard to go for. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, I see you added him. He, we talked about him last week. No, we talked about him last week. He'll do better with Zion back. And again, New Orleans, the whole team is struggling, so all their stats are down, and they all look a little rough.
Yeah.
Besides Josh Hart, he's looked pretty good the past. He's on one of his hot streaks, but yeah, I'd try to get Alexander Walker as well. That might be you might have to give up less for him than Dinwiddie. All right, let's break into sell highs, man. Unless you have another buy low.
No, I really don't.
Yeah, we went over a lot. Sell high. So Cole Anthony's still a sell high. It's 37.7 average. He just missed one game.
Might be hard to do right now because he does have an injury right now.
Yeah, no, he's missed the one game, but I don't think that'll deter anyone if it's a day-to-day situation.
Okay.
Because he was going off right before that, and Yeah, he's been playing lights out. Like, I didn't think he could keep this up for this long, for sure. But he's still so high. I mean, he's a top 50 player right now, and I can't sit here and say he's going to finish top 50 in the season.
Right.
Like, there's just no way in my mind unless this guy's somehow just. Well, we know what is from before this. He's gone off before, not this long, but I don't know, man. I mean, he does have those big men we just talked about to lob to, which might make it easier for him, but they also, like we said last week, they have Suggs who's coming up, and he eventually, I think, take over the point guard duties with a losing team. Like, why would they play?
And they have
Cole
Markelle
Anthony.
Fultz, too.
Yeah, so like they could just trade Cole Anthony for like a nice pick to a contender kind of thing.
Right,
and then
right.
Cole Anthony loses most of his value.
I don't know. So you're not buying that he could even get traded and be a starter somewhere?
He could be a starter in like the Nats, but then he's not going to average 37.7 because he's not the main guard anymore.
Right.
So he'd be down probably to like 27. I'm not saying this guy's going to fall off a cliff.
Okay.
But I think he could be under 30 sooner rather than later, and also the trade.
Gotcha.
But this is only a sell high. Like, obviously, if you picked him up, you're happy, and you're riding the wave.
Yeah.
And if nobody wants to trade for him, like nobody believes, then just keep riding it, obviously.
Right.
It's not like a droppable guy. But see if you can get anything, package him in a deal for one of those stars that we just talked about.
Right.
Like if you could trade Cole Anthony and like Westbrook, like say you had that combo, because Westbrook, LeBron just got back, so Westbrook stats are going to go down again. He was bad when LeBron was in, if you remember right. So
yeah,
you package those two for like a Randall. I mean, that's amazing.
Okay.
But yeah, Marcus Smart and Dennis Schroeder, they're both averaging around 33 in their last 15. That's with Jalen Brown out. So they've been kind of covering his touches and minutes. And they've been doing really well. I mean, Schroeder's been going off the past couple games, and Marcus Smart, when he gets the minutes, he does this average. This is him. That's kind of the best he can do. So, but when Jalen Brown was in this year so far, Marcus Smart wasn't doing so well, and he's not the starter. Like Dennis Schroeder's the starting point guard.
Right.
Marcus Smart's the sixth man. So, I would see if you could trade him or Schroeder for anything.
Okay.
Try to maybe use one of them to get Dinwiddie. But yeah, because once Jalen Brown is back, these guys are back to like sub 30. They're not going to go off as much. So
right.
I wanted to run this one.
It could be a shrewd move to sell high on Dennis Schroeder.
Oh my god! I hope we lose all our subscribers after that. Honestly,
how could you even say such a thing?
Oh my god, Al Horford, bro. Is he still a sell high for you? What do you think? He's going off again.
He's going on. That's why this is the perfect time to sell high on him, because you got the age to worry about. We are not an ageist podcast, but it is worth noting that he is like 70 years old. No, no, but just you got to part of winning fantasy is making those tough decisions, and Al Horford, he can be a little hot and cold. 1 week he's going off, 1 week he goes down a little bit, and then he'll pick it back up a week later. And then so if you would only be trading him to try and get somebody a little more consistent, so this would be the week to maybe put him in a trade to try and get maybe a slumping Randall or something like that, or maybe a Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
So
yep, I would try to get. Yeah, he'd be great. Him. He'd probably have to do 2 for 1, but him in a deal for Randall.
Yeah,
that'd be perfect. And then, or I would even trade him for Ingram.
Okay.
Maybe, or Nurkich.
Any of those guys we mentioned.
Yeah, he does look like the Al Horford from a couple years ago when he was on the Celtics. Like just like a daily beast. I don't know, like trustworthy. He looks like that trustworthy fantasy guy he was like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
It's just weird to. It's just hard to believe he could turn back the clock a whole season. But
Right.
yeah, I'm a little more on the fence now that he's done it again. Like he came back from this last injury and he's going off again. Like I don't know, he's just got that trust with Tatum and those guys, Marcus Smart, but again, yeah, he's 36 and not everybody's LeBron James. So I would still sell high, but I could see why people might not. So if you're worried about injuries, like, for older guys like Al Horford, also sell high. I just wanted to throw these in there on Chris Paul, Porzingis, or Westbrook.
Is that intentional, Westbrook?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
fun.
well, they call him Westbrook because
I love that.
I guess jump shot is shit. So he bricks a lot of shots.
Yeah. He's like me out there.
These are only sell highs if you're literally like an injury guy who hates. You might not have him on your team then, but you know that once a year these guys are out for two weeks to a month. So, and that's all three of these guys who are currently doing really well. So if you're worried about injuries, sell high on those guys. Otherwise, keep riding them. Also,
out of those, I definitely like the sell high on Porzingis. I feel like that's the one that can get you the most because he's the younger one of those three.
Yeah,
I feel like Porzingis could get you whatever you wanted right now.
That's
maybe
true.
A 2-for-1 for anybody. People might take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Just to go more into Russell Westbrook, LeBron is back, and like we said,
do you think he's back for good though? Do you think he's gonna, be like a every other game LeBron? Like he's gonna sit every other game.
He knows that if they're gonna have a chance to be a top seed, and they want to be, that he needs to play.
But does LeBron care as much about that because he's got all this stuff going on off the court that he makes a ton of money? He
wants to win.
Cares about winning more championships?
Yes, he does.
Okay, I just wanted. I'm not saying that that's how I feel. I'm just asking the questions, everybody. But
he wouldn't have wanted.
Feel free to come at me in the comments. I would love that.
He wouldn't have made all these moves and trades with this team if he didn't want to get one more chip.
Okay.
He's going for one last one. Basically, he's going year by year at this point because he's 36. About to be 37, and yeah, like he can't just assume he's going to win two. So he's got to go all out each and every year that he's still healthy like this.
Okay.
So I mean, they have him and Westbrook are MVPs. Anthony Davis has been in the MVP running before. It's not.
Yep.
Like they care. He cares. He cares about legacy, and he wants to be remembered as the best. So they're going for it, and he wants to play.
Everybody. In the comments.
Oh my god.
Let us know. Does LeBron care about basketball? Let us know in the comments.
Oh my god. All right, and then Ricky Rubio, I would still try to sell him high. He's been slowing down the past week a bit, but still see if he can get anything. If not, just see if the wave continues. It looks like it's coming down, but we'll see. Garland, like Darius Garland, looks like he's coming to form as the main point guard. So
yeah,
and that's their guy. That's their future.
What about Legulius Boozler? How's he doing?
Who?
Legulius Boozler.
Who the fuck is that?
You mentioned him was it last week or the week before, that Darius Bazley. Whenever I see that name, I just think Julius Boozler.
Oh my god. Bazley on the OKC Thunder?
Yeah.
He's doing okay. He's up and down. Like he'll score 35 fantasy points one night and then he'll score 20. So
yeah, okay.
He still hasn't. I don't know. I want to believe, but we'll see. Tyrese Maxey is still going way off. I mean,
why? And so why would you sell that? Because I feel like that's a breakout, and I feel like that's a clear one.
He'll be the number 3 when Embiid is back, but people don't realize how much.
He's a good facilitator as well, isn't he?
Yeah, that's fine, but Embiid really takes away from like other players producing because.
But he'll still fill up the stat sheet with like assists. So
he could, but right now he's averaging like 37. I mean,
So you think he'll fall off, but I don't know. I feel like
he'll go back when Embiid is back. He'll go back down to 30.
Okay.
This is not a guy who's going to stay at near 40 a night. Just
Okay.
because he's with Embiid. But yeah, he's playing super well right now. And if Embiid ever got hurt for the rest of the season, I mean, this is a must hold. So
Right.
this one's harder to sell for sure because it is a breakout, like you said.
If
but
I was
it's
going to
just
sell him, I'd be going for the moon with him right now.
well, I don't know if you get that because you're selling high based on Embiid being out. And
Okay.
you know his stats are going to come down a bit for sure. I think he'll be down to 30 on the year, so which is still a holdable guy. So if you want to hold him, hold him. But if you think you can get somebody who's going to average more than that for the year, go for them. Like Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, I would trust more in Dinwiddie, but that's just me. Would you sell high on D'Angelo Russell because of his injury history as well, Zach? Or no?
I really think I would, dude, because what's it been? 4 years since he hasn't had kind of an injury thing?
Yeah,
Like
he already
bug?
missed like a week or so this year.
Yeah.
But now since that, he's been going off.
I think I would sell high on that. I mean, because yeah, I mean that's an easy sell high for me just because that is something that you need to worry about. You know, that's always something that'll be in the back of your mind. Like, this is awesome, but is he gonna make it till the fantasy playoffs? Because
Exactly.
it's great that he'll help you get some wins in like week 6, 7, 8, but will he be there when you'll need him the most? And that's kind of the issue with guys like that. They're usually not available when you need them the most.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's always out like a month a year at minimum, like since basically being in the league. I would totally sell because he's also shooting really well right now, and we know that he goes through slumps in his shooting, and that's his most of his value is that shooting. So
would you do a 1-for-1 for Tyrese Maxey with him?
no.
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, if you're worried about
questions.
I feel like I'd go for someone higher with D'Angelo Russell with his name.
So with Russell, what do you think? Could you do a 1-for-1 for Brandon Ingram?
No, you would have to include.
You would still have to do a 2-for-1 with him.
Possibly. I mean, send the 1-for-1 to start. You know, don't start negotiations with your max offer. Start negotiations with a smaller offer and then build from there.
Well, wouldn't the smaller offer be the 1-for-1?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
Start with the 1-for-1 and then get rejected, possibly, and then add in a player. Basically,
that's the thing that stinks about this podcast is I can't send you all over any trades because we talk about them all.
You have Russell?
No, but I mean,
okay.
I got some of the guys I have some of the guys we talked about.
Other Zach has Russell. All right, man. Let's break into scoop them up because there's a lot of players that have been doing well this week. A lot of new players from the past 2 weeks of episodes. Bobby Portis is hot right now, 35.3 average in the last 15. So we already did talk about him as a scoop, but now it's like a definite grab because he looks like he could be here to stay, man, as like their sixth man. Because Middleton is back from injury, and he's still doing this. And he's got that confidence. We always know that Bug Eyes has the confidence, so...
Could they go small ball and play him at the 4 and Giannis at the 5?
They could. Okay, that brings up a good point. Their center is out right now. So... It might just be like a hot streak, ride him while he's hot, Bobby Portis, but still the highest average of the past 2 weeks is Bobby, and he's only like 30% owned.
Yeah,
or lower.
I'm just saying there is a little bit of a glimpse that you could see that he could crack the starting 5, and I don't know, he could be a starter, but maybe he's better suited as the 6th man, is what you're saying, though?
I was just thinking he's the 6th man because that's what he was used as. Maybe he is that starter right now because their center is out. But I think he'll just keep it up because they're using him more than ever before.
Yeah. And he was vital. I mean, when everybody was healthy, he was a big part of their championship run. So It's not like he
Yeah,
can't play with those guys if he's a starter or not,
yeah,
you
I
know?
think he's a must grab and see how he goes over the
Yeah,
next
I think so too.
week or so.
I'm surprised, but also happy to see him there because I've always liked Bobby Portis. It just stinks it didn't work out with the Bulls.
Yeah, I mean he was trying to be a starter on the Bulls, and then he had the punch fiasco. And like everyone knows he's not a starter. Like that's what he is like one of your best bench players.
Hmm.
He's not a starting caliber player in this league on a good team.
He just doesn't have a shot for that, right?
On a bad team, he could be a starter, yeah. But they at this point in his career, they would rather start like a bad team would rather start younger guys, and he's in the perfect situation. He belongs on a contender as a sixth man for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, now they've built chemistry over the past year, so it could be a rest of season thing. Just something to watch. Jalen Brunson, you brought him up a month ago, and I was like, no way, he'll keep this up. But
It was more of a flyer a month ago. This is
oh
a
yeah,
definite scoop now because he was still the backup point guard a month ago, but he was still going off. So
yeah, no,
that
he
and
looks
it,
great
yeah,
and looks like a breakout. And Doncic, we know he can always miss a couple games here and there, and he just did. He just missed 2 games. So,
right.
and he's when Porzingis is healthy, he's got Porzingis to lob too. There's actually a lot of lob guys in Dallas.
So do you think since Brunson is doing so good, do you think they could just go two guard and play him start him with Doncic at shooting guard?
I don't know because Doncic brings up the ball and he's a really good point guard. He's a really good passer.
Okay. So
I wouldn't say Brunson's better
Brunson's
at passing than him.
Brunson's still at best when everybody's healthy, the backup point guard and going to come off the
Yeah,
bench.
but he's like their third best player right now, so he's a must grab,
Yeah.
even if he is the sixth man. Because
And there might be times, just because he comes off the bench, quote unquote, there's probably times where they're resting Doncic and then Brunson is out there playing with Porzingis still, even though he's off the bench, so
oh yeah, no, he'll come in, and I'm sure they rotate them all in. And I haven't
yeah.
watched a Dallas game in a week or so, but
But just because we say a guy's a bench player doesn't mean that he never plays with starters.
yeah, no, that's any player for
Yeah,
sure. Their rotations
they rotate
during a
him in.
game mix them up. Yeah.
So if he's going off like this, I mean,
Also a must grab, and he might be up to 60% owned right now. Let me make sure.
yeah, he was only like 10%
Thought he
owned
was
when I brought him
30.
up 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, maybe even lower than that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the garden of
no,
sports.
he's only 41% owned.
That's the garden of sports. We brought him up from under 10% up to 40%. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
impact we have across fantasy leagues.
Yeah, he's only 40% owned. This is a must grab player. So competitive leagues have already, well, not every competitive league, but competitive leagues have grabbed him like he was grabbed early in his breakout in our 12-team league.
I was
But,
streaming him for a couple weeks, and then but I haven't
oh, you
picked him
dropped him?
back. I dropped him.
Somebody already has him. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody picked him up. So, but I was streaming him
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks ago.
In a 10-team league, Keldon Johnson is available. So I think people were sour on him with a slower start to the season, but his
Ooh.
30.5 average in the last 15, I think you could definitely get him in a 10-team. He's 60. He's like 68% owned, I think.
Okay, so
65.
here's a question I have.
Okay.
Would it be worth if I could pick up Keldon Johnson right now? Would I drop Sadiq Bey?
That's a flyer, dude. That's up to you. Those are kind of even to me at this point.
Okay.
Like one's hotter than the other right now, but they're both kind of the same caliber player at this time in NBA. One of them could break out in the second half more so, but Sadiq Bey definitely started the season better.
Right.
Dort on the OKC Thunder. He's going through one of his shooting streaks. So far in his career, he's had these streaks where he just goes the hell off, and it looks like that's what he's doing right now. But it's been a 2 week, which isn't normal for him. It's usually in the past. It's been like like a week or so breakout. This has been 2 weeks of just shooting really well, but he's been shooting like 60%. So nobody can keep that up. This guy's a Michael Jordan. So this is kind of a ride while he's hot kind of player. He obviously gets the minutes, and it's obviously nice to own a guy like him who plays really good defense.
Right.
He's a defensive stud. But that's usually where his numbers come from, are defense, and he's not shooting like this. So I don't see it being like a true breakout because he's done this before with a hot streak and then falling off. But somebody to grab while he's hot. Josh Hart, 29.1 average in the last 15. He's also a guy who goes on hot streaks like that and is a two-way player that plays defense. Yeah. So another guy to grab. Don't have to go too far into that, but he's just looked good the past 2 weeks.
He plays with a lot of heart.
Oh my God. Alex Caruso, 26.5 average in the last 2 weeks. And he's I think he's the steals leader in the league still. Unless Gary Trent passed him, but
he's got quick hands.
Yeah, so it's really hard for him to average less than 25 fantasy points because of that defense. Did you see that highlight of him like just smothering this guy and taking on the shot clock? He like almost stole it twice. He tapped it away and then he blocked. Yeah. And then the guy ran out of time. Yeah.
It was awesome.
It's amazing. Bigger grab than Alex Caruso or the couple guys above, Talen Horton-Tucker. So he's came off of injury, first start of the season 4 games ago, and he just went the heck off. Obviously LeBron was out, but they were high on this guy. LeBron loves this guy. I think they're going to start using him a lot more now that he's back, even with LeBron back. And
so you're saying he's heard a who over the last week or so.
Oh my God, what?
Horton hears a who?
Oh my God. That's pretty good, though. That's pretty good. I would still grab him. He's about 30% owned now. Like, a lot of people grabbed him from like 0%. So
okay.
I would still grab him, though, because I think he's their sixth man. Look at their bench. They have a bunch of old guys. This guy's young, super athletic. I mean, he'd be the main guy off the bench. And yeah, Westbrook's a starter, and he hasn't played super well next to LeBron yet. So like their third best player could be Talen Horton-Tucker, and they'll, like you said, with rotations, they'll keep rotating him in, like with the starters when they're in a crunch situation.
Okay,
like they would totally move LeBron to the 4, bring in Horton-Tucker, or they use Horton-Tucker as the shooting guard. Like they'll just bring him in as like their best starting 5 would include Talen Horton-Tucker.
Okay.
Not that he'll probably be a 6-man for the year just to have a good bench scorer, but they'll bring him in during key times, like in the fourth quarter. So he's a must grab and see what happens. He didn't. The LeBron return game, he did not do well, but there's still a lot for this team to figure out with all these new players, and I think he's still going to do good. Well, Marcus Aldridge, 26.3 average in the last 15. He's a ride while he's hot. We know this guy can shoot from anywhere, and when he's hot, and he obviously gets rebounds because he's so big. So why not grab him while if you're in a competitive league, he might be available. That's why I put him on here.
Okay.
Devon Vasile, we've talked about him for several weeks now. He's nearing a 25 average. That's about what he'll be unless there's an injury on the Spurs. But if you need a guy that's consistent, I think this is your guy.
I'm loving him in our really competitive 12-team league. I mean, I picked him up as a streamer because I had a bunch of injuries like the first couple of weeks, and I haven't wanted to drop him since. And I don't know, it's been kind of like a nice sleeper move. He just seems to keep getting better and better every week, it seems like.
Yeah, totally agree. It's just like his upside is capped until some of those other guys might be hurt, but
yeah,
definitely got to grab. Teams have dropped Mccall Bridges. We talked about this last week, but he's starting to come back to form, and he was a plus 30 average last year, so
he's really helping me right now. In my 12-team league, I've stuck with him.
Bridges,
there's been times where I was like, ooh, because there was one week where he was averaging like 12. And it was like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine, dude. You can't drop him.
Yeah. I figured that he would, because he's a very good player, and
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Tim,
it's
for
good to
sure.
see. Good to see.
Tim Hardaway Jr. He's hot right now, and this is another guy who's he goes on hot streaks, hot shooting.
Yeah,
So he's
he's a
shooting
very
really well for
streaky
the
guy.
Mavericks. So just grab him while he's hot,
Okay,
streamer.
Tim Hardaway.
And then I have a watch list in deep league moves. So Kem Birch was a late grab last year he was a center he is a center for the Toronto Raptors. And he looks like he just had one good game, so that's why he's only a watch list right now. But he got 40 fantasy points.
But they also seem to like that Precious Achua.
Yeah, but Kem Birch is a center. Precious is like a power forward, I thought.
Precious is also a center.
Oh, I thought he was
They're,
smaller than a center.
they're playing him at center. He's dual eligible.
Okay. Well, Kem Birch is important to watch because he's barely owned, and last year he's part of my championship team because he was the last month of the season he was averaging like 40. So,
wow,
got to watch for because he has a potential upside if they play him with the minutes. Larry Nash Jr. We know this guy over the past couple of years. When he gets the minutes, he also goes off in fantasy. He just needs like 25 minutes a night, but no team will give him that. But in Portland, like we said, Portland Trailblazers are starting to find their footing. And he's finally, the past 5 games, he's been getting plus 20 minutes, where before that on the season, he was not. And I think they're starting to like him. He's an athletic power forward. And if he's doing that well on what should be a contender because of the talent they have on the team, I would grab him, or at least put him on your watch list, because we know this guy, when he gets 25 minutes, if he gets 30 minutes a night, he's a must grab. But just watch him. Isaiah Hartenstein for the Clippers. He's had 2 really good games in a row. This is another guy I'm not getting too excited about because I know the Clippers are deep, but 2 really good games from him. And I've never been a Zubats fan. As the season progresses, maybe he could take over as the main big man. Chetty Osman, grab him while Mobley is out. I've already streamed him a couple games and then I dropped him, but Mobley could be out a month and Chetty can be pretty hot shooter for the Cavaliers, so someone to stream in a deep league or just put him on your watch list. Monty Morris is getting the minutes and he's playing better. If people remember a couple years ago, he was doing really well as a backup point guard for Denver behind Jamal Murray. And then he hasn't really recaptured that form, but he's still on that team. And Jamal Murray's out. And they need the point guard. They need a point guard to play. And Will Barton's a shooting guard / small forward, and they're missing Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon's a power forward, so he's getting the minutes right now, and he's playing better ball. So it's a guy you could stream in a deep league, or just put on your watch list to see if he keeps being consistent. Paddy Mills is starting to heat up for the Nets. So, unless Kyrie comes back, this is the main point guard, I think. And I think Radamali's hot. I don't think he's a full-time season 30 and average guy, but watch list, deep league. Shawn Tate, we've talked about him a couple weeks now, but this might be your last chance in a deep league. Maybe you could still wait in a 10 team, but he's starting to do really well for the Rockets as they're starting small forward. And he's got the talent to keep that up. So someone to watch, or if you want to grab him before other people grab him, just get a hold of him. And Kevin Love is back from his injury, and he looks really efficient. Again, he's only playing 22 minutes, but he's doing well. He's doing Kevin Love things. So someone to watch, or a deep league move, 14 team, you could probably grab him right now. You have any other deep league moves, Zach?
Yeah, there's one that I wanted to bring up.
Yes.
Look here, I just had it.
Okay.
Where the heck is it? Jeez, I'm sorry, everybody. My gosh, what the heck?
They're super pissed. This is live.
What is going on? I just had him. What the heck?
All right. Well, do you want to come back to that?
No. I got okay. There he is. Kelly Oubre Jr.
Oh no, I hate him this year. At this point,
Okay.
I mean, people do. I dropped him in a 12-team league that I'm in, like a Yahoo league, and then people put in for him, like they put in their money. So on certain leagues that you have like $200 for the waiver for the year,
Right.
to bid on guys that are dropped. It's not a waiver order, so it's a little more fair. But yeah, people bid on him when I dropped him, but he's just so inconsistent. He'll go off and then he'll be bad for 4 games. So it's not worth it to me. He's behind Miles Bridges and there's a lot of talented players on that team. And Gordon Hayward, like Miles Bridges and Gordon Hayward are small forwards. Like Kelly Oubre is a small forward. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not.
Yeah.
He's never going to consistently go off if those guys are playing.
Right.
So they'll keep him in there basically if he's super hot shooting. They keep him in, and then he has a really good fantasy game. But
okay,
it's not worth it. I think his average is around 21 or 22 on the year. So if you want that headache, go ahead. But he's not worth it for me in a deep team. And there's just better players there. So I'd rather grab higher upside guys like Shawn Tate.
Right.
Or some of these other guys. I mean, Oubre in a 14-team league, yeah, I would hold him. Or deeper. But that might be it. Do you have any other players or concerns?
No, that's one of the main ones I was thinking about.
Okay. And we talked about, what do you want to drop Saddiq Bey? I see Zach's concerns here.
Yeah, so Saddiq Bey, is he worth a hold? Because I have LeBron on my IR that I want to bring back. And
is this a 10-team?
In our competitive 10-team league. Or in our shallower 10-team league. But he seems to be the player that I would drop out of all my guys. If I just run you down my team real quick.
I'll just go to it.
Morant, Giddey, Hayward, Jaren Jackson.
I'm there, dude. I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the guy to drop unless you don't believe in Cole Anthony, but I mean Cole Anthony's going off, so it's hard to drop. Yeah, I would drop Bey, just put him on your watch list.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you'd obviously, Maxi's hot, so you're not going to give up on him yet, so. Yeah. Yeah, because LeBron, I don't think LeBron's playing today, but.
Yeah, I don't think he is either, so I may just hold.
Just wait, Saddiq's playing today, so.
Yeah, I might just drop him later.
Yeah, drop him after the game start.
Yeah. But and then my next one, this is for our competitive 12-team league.
Mm-hmm.
Is Precious Achiuwa worth a hold in a deep competitive league?
Let me look at how he's doing in this league. He's only 6.6% owned, so I think you could easily grab him again,
Okay.
And he's an all-around guy. He's like not going off in any specific. There's players out there that you could take a flyer on, like that we've talked about so far this episode, and you probably wouldn't be upset. I'm just more. You could just drop Kelly Oubre as well. It's like one or the other.
Okay.
If you didn't want to drop Precious yet, Precious is playing today, so you could drop Kelly Oubre or him, but he's not a must-hold player in 12 teams right now.
Okay.
Because Siakam's back, like he was going off to start the year because Siakam was out, and then he's only got a 22.4 average on the year, and that's including minutes when Siakam was out. So, yeah, I think he could definitely be dropped.
Okay.
All right, any other players, dude?
No, that's my questions.
Okay. All right, guys, let's just go over good and bad schedules. So there's no bad schedules actually this week. So there's no 2-game teams. There's only 3 and 4s, which is normal. So we'll just go over Tuesday streamers, Thursday streamers. Well, Thursday, there's like a lot of teams playing, so it's not really a stream situation. So Tuesday stream teams, Brooklyn Nets, Warriors, Clippers, 76ers, Spurs, Jazz, which we've gone over players on a couple of those teams in this episode. And then Tuesday, Thursday, so this is where you could grab, like, make one move and get 2 games out of them in the middle of the week. Warriors, Clippers, 76ers, Spurs, and Jazz. So, same list as Tuesday without the Nets.
Okay. Interesting.
And so we just went over several players you could grab off of these teams. And there's always Royce O'Neal in the Jazz. I feel like that's like one of the best streams. So you can expect at least 20 fantasy points from a stream. I've streamed him a couple times now. But yeah, Clippers, Isaiah Hartenstein, 76ers, Shake Milton you could grab, Spurs, Devon Vasile, Warriors, I saw people drop Jordan Poole, so you could just stream Jordan Poole. So plenty of guys out there.
Okay.
All right, that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Good episode, man. I think we gave a lot of info.
Yeah, good stuff.
Put any questions in the comments.
Yeah, leave all your questions, concerns, tell us how we're doing. And also be sure to follow us on all our social media. We have Facebook, Garden of Sports Podcast. We have Instagram, Garden of Sports. We have Twitter at GOSPod 2021. So, and then obviously our YouTube, which is how you're listening to us now. So, just be sure to follow us. We got a lot of good stuff going on, and we're working on our website now. That's hopefully going to be up within the next couple of weeks, and so stay tuned for that. We'll be available a lot more places once we have our website.
I'm grinding the website. I'm hoping to finish it today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching sports all day and just have my computer to finish it.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'll just be watching the Bears at noon, and then all the Bulls probably tonight. God, dude, the Bulls are so fun to watch. Like, I feel like it's must watch TV.
Yeah, they are very fun to watch. It's awesome.
Like, you don't want to miss it because, I don't know, they go off. First off, DeMar and Levine. Did you see that crazy stat? Like, first 2 players to average 25 plus points together, and some crazy just numbers. I can't remember the exact stat, but
yeah,
they're going off. Lonzo looks amazing. Like, I feel like he's not being talked about enough.
No, he's perfect
his
for that team.
And then his defense is just like everyone's talking about Alex Caruso on defense. I mean, Lonzo's even better.
Yeah.
So that's what's crazy. So anyway, man, let's wrap this up. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.